I think we are live. Hello, sisters. This is Jonita. This is your family lifestylist, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about the 3 steps to activate your feminine empress. And I think we're going to spend around 30 minutes together. So if you are here jumping in, get yourself comfortable, get your journal, get your pen, get your water. I have my water. And get settled. And it's going to be a class where I would like you to, continuously go into self-inquiry, because it's a process of self-inquiry. Okay, so I'm really excited to share this with you at this point, and I want it to be interactive, and so that we all can learn with each other. I'm going to, and if you are watching, then I would love you to say hi or hello, and then let me know how you're feeling. I'm just clicking on some buttons here, trying to invite a few people here, and really interested. I'm really happy because, as you can see, my freshly out of the kitchen, getting the word, lipstick. So yeah, so I spent some time making my own lipstick, and there it is. Now I'm so proud of it. It feels good. It feels very fresh, and I'm really happy about it. So hey, Cheryl is here. Cheryl is feeling excited. Thank you so much for joining. And I can see a few people are watching. Just drop in and say hello and hi, and let's crack on. I've made my notes here, so I may be looking into it just for reference. But my intention here right now is to share this process, these 3 steps to activate your feminine empress, so that you have this tool. This is really important because you can go, and it's kind of like a rinse and repeat system. You can do and go through this process again and again anytime you feel that life has knocked you down. And that happens several times, and I know it's going to happen. It's continuing to happen, because as long as we are alive in this dual world of polarity, life will knock us down. But our assignment in this lifetime is to, remember and activate that knowing inside of us, so that we can face life with more consciousness and awareness. Hey, Michaela is here. So yeah, so that's my intention. And also, scientifically, it is proven that our brain is wired to think negatively by default. So when a situation does not unfold like the way that we want, our brain first goes into its negative thinking mode. And that's pretty natural to all of us, as long as we are humans. And it comes from our evolutionary process, to be honest. It comes from those caveman times, because at those times it was important for us to be on a flight or fight response, and somehow we have not fully grown out of it, and still are living in that flight or fight response. And many times we fall into that negative thinking by default. But that's not our natural state. Our natural state is of abundance, is of light. And if you're watching this, then I know your natural state is of light too. So it all is about activating and remembering that inside of you. Ancestral wounding? Tell me more, ask me more. I'm talking about the caveman psychology that we have developed throughout evolution, that keeps us still that is winding us still in our limiting beliefs, in our negative thinking. Of course, there's a lot of ancestral wounding, especially for us women, because we carry the womb lineage from our ancestors. So there's a lot of work that if we begin to do, we have the opportunity to end it and not pass it to the next generation, which is why us women have a very important role to play. So yeah, so I would like to hear from you how the 2018 start has been for you. I've been asking this to everybody, and I know we've already entered the second month, and it's still a new year. You know, things are still unfolding. We are still unfolding, and all these worldly events that are happening, like all of the full moon, the new moon, the eclipses, and again we have coming close to another new moon and a partial solar eclipse. So all of the energies are very intense, and if you are sensitive, if you are an empath like me, then you will feel intense energies. And I felt really kind of numb energy beginning this year, where my brain knew all the things that I wanted to do, or I should do, or I could do, but my being was just numb. I couldn't. I didn't. My being didn't want to take any step forwards. It was a bit of like an emotional challenge. I was figuring out what the hell is even happening with me, and that's what I would like to, excuse me, know if any one of you are still struggling with that energy, or did even feel that energy for some time in the beginning of this year, because that's very natural, especially beginning of the year. A lot of things are thrown at you at once, so it's very natural to go into that state. But what I'm here to tell you is that um, you know a very large conversation that goes around personal development industry, spiritual industry, is that we all require healing. It's very different. Yes, we require healing, but this does not mean that something is wrong with us. It's not. Doesn't mean that you are broken. No, you are not broken. I am not broken. Nobody's broken. However, we have our own spiritual journey to continue here, and we all have to kind of make choices to claim and activate our what I like to say, the divine design in us, because it is in all of us. And one of the things that I have noticed is that the biggest limiting belief that we women have is that we are not enough. I feel like I need a big kick in my butt because I have so many creative ideas but need to get started. I know what you mean. Yeah, me too. Believe me, I have so many things boiling and brewing inside of me. But Cheryl, I'm finding it really hard to take actions and to get into the action mode. But it is fine as long as you are, charging yourself. Sometimes it's like a diesel engine. My friends call me diesel engine because I take a long time to start up, and once I start, then I keep going longer than them. So take your time and investigate, do the self inquiry of what is it going on. What is it that you are called to do. Yes. So and then sometimes you need to just activate or move this emotion here or release this energy here, and then you will find the flow. So one of the things that I promise myself is that I will not be taking actions just for the sake of action until and unless I feel inspired, because I know in the past what I have noticed is that the amount of action that I was doing was just burning me out. But when I was doing the action with this creative juice of inspiration, I was doing less and getting more done. And this is, I know it may sound cliche, but this is something that you have to experience to know it. It's not just a concept. So the way of the feminine empress is to come back to that remembering, is to learn and navigate through those challenges, to activate and claim our own remembering, our own light consciousness that we all have. Excuse me. So if you're resonating so far, yeah, just I'm liking your comments. Thank you so much. I always love to read comments. That makes me feel that I'm not talking to myself. I tune in a feeling like floating around in the ocean flow. I've been there. Yeah, so we can resonate what we are talking about. Now, I want to specifically talk about the feminine empress. So now, if you have been watching my work over the last 1 year, then you may know that I have been talking about the archetype of the feminine empress, which I had channeled more than a year ago in one of the shamanic ceremonies. And I was really scared to bring it out in the world because I knew the queen archetype, I knew about the empress archetype, but then what came to me was the feminine empress. And it's obvious that empress is feminine, but when you look at role models and what has been known in the past, it was a very limited collection of something that I can pinpoint and say that this is feminine empress. So, but then I continued my journey of inquiry, and all of these things were downloaded to me. And when I shared this, when I came out of my shell and shared this in the world, I wasn't received very well, to be honest. I had quite a few people writing back to me thinking, what do you think? Who do you think you are? Especially men. That's, oh, that's another thing that you women want to come up with now. And what's the need for this? Another cult and things like that. So I received a lot of hate emails, believe me, but that kind of, it made me feel like, yes, I have triggered something. I've triggered something in the consciousness, and I believe that I need to stick with it. So the the feminine empress basically is a trilogy. It's a trilogy of three particular archetypes, which is the warrior archetype, which is all about, finding out your sacred purpose, your boundaries, taking courageous decision, living in a state of awareness, knowing who you are and why you are here. So it's a trilogy of, the warrior. It's a trilogy of the mother archetype, and the mother archetype is being alive in her power as the creatress, being alive in her energies of connection, cultivation, compassion, and also being alive in the healing work that is required. Because yes, we are required to heal a lot of stuff, a lot of emotional gunk. And it's also a trilogy of the lover archetype, which is being awake in all of our senses, in our body, in our sacred sensuality, sexuality, pleasure. So the feminine empress, the warrior, the mother, and the lover exist in all of us. It exists in all of us. It's just that we do not have them activated in us. And there will be times that this may not resonate to you. You may think that, no, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's totally fine. Maybe this is not for you right now, because the journey of the feminine empress, and I'm 100% sure about that, is not for everybody. It's for those women who are ready to live a life that she feels aware, alive, and awake in her being, in her sovereignty. And she is able to use the feminine principle, the ancient wisdom of the feminine, for her good, for the good of the society as well, for the good of the consciousness too. But it starts from within. So that's the feminine empress. Now, what does Michaela say? Michaela says at times it feels like, yes, now I need something to feel, and like things letting go, at times what? I know what you mean. But that's the way of the feminine. There is a lot of mystery. Sometimes the women that I work with, some of the clients, they expect some kind of answers from me. But I always try to put this forward to them, that I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm just going to be the gatekeeper for you. I may just open the gate, but you have to walk through it by yourself. I will be there looking at you, watching you, probably holding you if you fall, but you have to do the work yourself, and you have to learn to understand what it means for you. Because I really cannot, for example, like how Michaela is sharing, that is true for her. And I may just come up with my interpretation of what she feels, but that may not be true for her. So it's really interesting. So So yeah, activating the feminine empress. I can see a lot of people joining in. Drop in and say hello, hi, and join in the conversation. Let's share. Rena is here. Lovely to see you, Rena. Thank you for all your contribution. I can see a lot of comments from Rena these days, and thank you for being here and keeping the vibes of the sisterhood alive. Thank you so much. And how do you know? How do you know that your feminine empress is activated? It is when you wake up in the morning feeling excited for the day because you know what you're here to do. You know your sense of purpose in the world. Again, that's the warrior archetype. In the Japanese term, it's called ikigai. You know the reason for your being. So that's when you know you are activated in your feminine empress. You know your feminine empress is activated when you are quite what's the word? When you are sure about who and when to say yes to and who and when to say no to. And that's all about knowing and practicing your boundaries. Again, that's again the warrior archetype. And your feminine empress is activated when you no longer look for what others will like in you or not. You no longer seek for validation, but because you know you like yourself for who you are, you trust in your intuition. Then that's the mother archetype again. And the feminine empress is activated. You will know when you consider the world as your playground. You know, when you use your energy as this creatress to birth new projects, you know, to experiment, to explore, exactly like what you're doing right now. You know, you're exploring who you are, who you're being. So then you succeed, you fail, and then you do it again, you know. So that's when you know your feminine empress is activated, because you are not scared to claim your power of the creatress. And you know your feminine empress is activated when you look at the mirror and smile at yourself, because you like yourself and accept yourself the way you are. You love your body the way you are. This is again the lover archetype. You know you are activated in your feminine empress when you don't strive for perfection and you can laugh at your own mess, and you strive for presence instead. You strive for beauty instead. That's also your lover archetype. So in these ways, if you're feeling any of these things on a daily basis, you are activating that element in it. But if you're not feeling any of this, doesn't mean that you do not have that feminine empress in you. You all have, we all have. We just don't claim it as much. We just don't activate it as much. We just don't remember as much. So if you're resonating, share some comments with me. I want to read some of your comments. So I'd like to know from you, why would you like to activate your feminine empress? If from so far what all I shared, why would you like to activate your feminine empress? If there is something that clicked you, like exactly, I want to do it for this reason, or I want to activate it because I want to feel this way. Thank you for being a gatekeeper, and let's do our own work. How else can we get transformed? Yes, to all of the a deep self-acceptance, Rena says. And Nadia, wow, this is powerful. Lovely to see you, Nadia, here. Cheryl is saying, here is to remembering. Exactly, here is to remembering. Now, what is happening right now? I want to bring to, like, why do we need to activate? You know, I told you about how would it look like when it's activated. But what is happening right now? What is happening right now is we have forgotten this element inside of us. What is happening right now that we women are so busy that we are looking for all of this outside of ourselves. We are so much into our action mode that we think that, you know, taking this action will bring us this fulfillment, this feeling. And I'm going to share a few of my examples, my personal experiences. For example, when several years ago, when I was feeling very low self-esteem, I was looking for its fulfillment in the external. When I had extremely low self-esteem, I was looking for validation from my partner. I was looking for my partner to do something to make me feel good. And I was so needy. I was extremely needy. I was extremely jealous as well. Oh my God, I was so jealous. It's so funny. When I was not well and I had my entire body covered with eczema, instead of going inside, again, I was looking for validations outside. I was just dependent on the steroids and taking lots of steroids to cure it, to heal it as quick as possible, without knowing that I need to do some kind of inner work, because there is a resonance here that I need to be seeing right now. So I was looking for validations. I wouldn't say validation is the right word. I think I was looking for solutions outside. Yes, solutions is a good word. So that's what a lot of us are doing. You know, when we do not have something, we are looking for how to get that on the outside. And many times we force our beliefs and thoughts and imaginations this way that something external can bring us all of that. If you resonate with me, give me a heart or a yes that you resonate, that you have been there, you have been looking for solutions outside of yourself, because I know I'm not the only one. So the way of the Feminine Empress is to understand that the creation begins from within. It begins from within. Everything begins from inside of us, and that's why doing the inner work is so important for all of us. And we always think that when we get there we will feel good, but that's not the law of attraction. That's not the law of manifestation. The age-old wisdom says that as long as you don't understand to embody that feeling, you will never get there. So that's a very big misalignment that we live in, and which is why it is important to keep activating our Feminine Empress, keep claiming it on a day-to-day basis, so that it becomes our secondary nature. Because of course you're going to have bad days, of course you're going to lose, of course things will not work like how you wish, but then you will not be putting yourself down, because you know it's momentarily. This will pass because you have it inside of you. So nothing is permanent. Any emotion that you have that makes you feel bad is temporary. Nothing is permanent. And it's up to you how long you choose to, cling to it, how long you kind of hold it and grip it. So I want to share this 3-step process that I use every time I get thrown into the negativity, I get thrown into out of alignment, or when life hits me hard, or when I'm not understanding what's going on. And this is how I activate my Feminine Empress. It's a really simple process. I'm going to be very straightforward to you. You can use it again and again so that it becomes your secondary nature. Let me drink some water. Cheryl says, yes, I'm overweight and I think I have used it as a protective barrier. Exactly. When I have worked with my clients, what I have noticed is that exactly what you say. Most of the time, we women protect ourselves by bearing weight especially around our womb area. It's very common physiological reaction that we have. You need to stop judging yourself. Exactly, and that's okay. Let's talk about the first step. The first step to activate your Feminine Empress is to stop living in the past. I'm going to be very straightforward. I have seen time and time again women loving to share about their struggles, loving to share about how much they struggled in the past, how much they failed, and how much of victimhood that they had gone through. It becomes kind of a sense of bonding between two women when they meet, like, oh, this thing happened with me, and oh yes, I have been through that too. And then you start talking about it, like you just keep kind of expanding that energy of your past time and time again, we need to stop telling ourselves, milking our stories of struggle, and especially through gossip. Stop living in the past. We do it. It happens. Yes, it feels really good to share, like, oh, I don't have money. I too don't have money. I can't afford that. I too cannot afford that. I can't eat that. I'm putting on weight. Oh, yes, I'm putting on weight too. We just live in the past, and we carry on that story inside of us. But the way of the feminine is not to live in her victim story, but to claim her victim story. Rena is saying, I can relate to Cheryl. I'm adjusting my something on my table here. So the way of the feminine is not to continue living in Feminine Empress, is not to continue living in the victimhood mentality, but to claim her victim story. That is, all right, I think now my light is settled, which means she takes the learning from there and she stops living in the past. So you need to, how can you do this? One of the ways to do is what I do, and the process that I'm sharing with you is the exact process that I take my private clients through as well. And we go through deep meditation as well as journaling process. So if you have your journals or something, you can write down these questions. So stop living in the past. And the way to do is to claim your victim story. Next time onwards, become watchful. What's the story you're telling yourself? If you think that you're telling yourself a victim story, stop right there. What's the story you're telling yourself? Is it true for yourself in this moment? It's really important because many times, as I said, we like to live in the past. Even though it's not happening right now, we like to live in the past. So what's the story you're telling yourself? Does it inspire you right now or not? Or does it set you free right now? And if you say no to any of these questions, then ask yourself, what is the learning? What do I need to learn from this story? And this is the way of the Feminine Empress. She takes, because we all have had our shares of struggles. I don't know any woman who has not struggled emotionally in her life. I have not met yet. If you have met, tell me. I would like to meet that person and know that person because I think she's a genius, but I don't know. And it's up to us to claim our victim story. The way of the Feminine Empress is to claim her victim story and get to know the learning from the victim story. And I can tell you again some example that the most common example that I hear is the talk around money. And I used to do that as well. I used to, when let's say my boyfriend would tell me that let's go out, let's do this thing. And I would tell him, no, I will not have enough money. And it wasn't true in the moment. It was my past story. I was telling myself some story in the present that wasn't true in the moment. But I had an idea of how, I didn't have an idea of how I could change that story. So I kept telling myself the story that, no, I don't have money. So I did not allow myself to even think what else is possible. So many times we really get stuck to what has happened in our past. So if there is a story that you are telling yourself right now, like Cheryl, you said that, it's your weight. Stop right now. Stop telling that story. Stop talking about it to others. There's no point. There's no point expanding the energy of what you don't want. So stop talking about it and ask yourself, what is the learning? This is the first step. The second step is I talk about it all the time. Create a vision for yourself, which means what do you desire in the present moment? Because anytime you don't have what you want, a desire is born. Yeah, a desire is born anytime you don't have what you want. So it is really important for you to pinpoint what is it that you desire. And the truth is that many times we are really scared to listen to that because it will require us to commit. It will require us to change. It will require us to step out of the comfort zone. It will require us to, get some new information, educate ourselves. Sometimes we even restrict ourselves because we tell ourselves that we do not have enough support for us to make this change. Sometimes we restrict ourselves thinking that because we are in survival mode, I do not have time to even think of anything new because I'm just surviving. So let me know if you can resonate to this. The way of the feminine empress is to dare to desire, to dare to dream, to dare. The daring is the word. Once you stop telling yourself the story of the past, the second step is to dare to dream, dare to desire, pretty much. It's very straightforward. I don't have to even explain. It's just 3 words: dare to desire. And one of the ways you can do it is to start sharing your desires instead of sharing your own stories. The more is, again, manifestation happens where energy flows. The more you energize a situation, a feeling, an experience, that's where manifestation happens. So dare to desire, and a way to do it is to start talking about it. Why am I'm getting stuck with my words. I don't know. Change the story. So dare to desire and dare to share your desires. And there is one important thing that you need to remember is do not share your desires with the people who will crush your dreams. When you're beginning, we call them as dream stealers. When you're beginning to practice this process, it's really important for you to have this, go to this safe space to share all these things. And I think our sisterhood is a really good space for you to practice these things. I welcome posts from all of you. Start talking, start commenting, start claiming. You just wake up and you think you feel like you're going into this negative spiral. Come to the group and share. Claim your desires, dare to share, because here you will not be judged. And you need to start practicing this more. It is not advisable for you to share your big dreams and desires to people who will put you down, to people who will not understand you, because you're not, again, adding good energy to it. So when you have to find a safe space to, exactly as Rina says, people who celebrate your dreams with you. And I do a really cool exercise in my workshops where we actually expand each other's desires. It's a really cool exercise because sometimes what happens is that I may be limiting myself to desire, but when I ask another sister to desire for me, it gives me the liberty to expand my desire. And it's a very cool process, which if you get an opportunity to come to one of my workshops, we can play with it. It's in person, we can play with it. It's really beautiful. And if you share your dreams with your dream stealers, you're doing no good to it. I used to do that, when I started my journey of exploring femininity. I started finding out about vibrations and how I can raise my vibration, and I would go back to my girlfriends and share it with them, and they would not resonate to it. Instead, they would laugh at me, and they would put me down. And of course, I'm saying that they would put me down. I allowed that to happen, but that's the truth. There is no point in sharing our dreams to people who do not understand us. We need people who celebrate us, as Rina says, and Rina is really good in it. I should tell you that. Yeah, she's a good cheerleader. So that's a good practice for you to dare to dream, to dare to share your dreams and desires in a safe environment. And many times, if you do not have this environment, if you don't feel like going outside and doing this, you can do it in front of the mirror. Just look at it and talk to yourself. If you don't like to go out in, let's say, in the sisterhood and share that. But I encourage that because it makes you become more visible in your desires. You're expanding the energy of your desires. Love sisterhood, how we get more empowered as individuals together. Yes, Michaela, it's really interesting. Internet, of course, but we all have, connected really well. I've never met you. I've never met so many of you, but I can really feel you when you guys exchange messages. When we talk to each other. Sometimes, I don't have sisters, biological sisters, but ah, you all feel like them to me. I get really emotional when I talk about it. But yes, that's the truth. So make use of this space. It's here for a reason. It's just not my space. It's our space. So the third step to activate your feminine empress is to embody your desires. And this is really important. Now, Cheryl, we can stick with your example, okay? Because that can be a tangible thing. So the story you're telling is about your overweight. And then I want you to go into step 2 is, what do you desire? Now, in order for you to embody what you desire, I want you to dig deeper, to go beneath the desire itself. And that's the way of the feminine empress. It's just not knowing or identifying your desire, but just going to the core of the desire, deepening your knowing about why do I have that desire. Because underneath your desire will lie a feeling. What is it that you want to feel, that you're desiring this? So the feeling element is, again, really important, because law of attraction is based on what you feel, who you be. You attract who you are being. And that's, again, the law of manifestation, the feeling, not your thoughts, not your action. You can think positive. I'm sure you must have noticed you can think positive all the time, but you don't manifest by thinking positive. You don't manifest just by doing and actions and things like that. It's the feelings. So the third step is to embody your desires, to dig underneath. And you know what? Why we don't do this? Again, it's a very unconscious thing, is because it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to dig and excavate, go within, go deep into this dark space of the feminine. We don't want to see that thing inside of us, because we may realize something that is greater than what we think we are. And our subconscious mind blocks all of that by putting us down. So, for example, let's say you want to be successful. My desire is to be successful. If I dig underneath it and go for, like, why? What is the feeling that I want to feel by being successful, or by having the desire of being successful? Then if I think of it, maybe because I want to become visible. Very uncomfortable feeling. A lot of us do not like to be visible. So in that ways, what we do is we kind of shut down, we resist what we want to really feel. So embodying, the third step to activate your feminine empress is to really dig underneath your desire, is as to what feeling you are longing to. So the way of the feminine empress is to know that, yes, you may encounter some uncomfortable feeling. You may have a desire which may bring up some kind of feeling that you may be like, no, that's not true. That's not true. But the way of the feminine empress is to sit with it, understand that feeling, and transmute that feeling. That's the way of the feminine empress. That's how you activate. And when you embody, and then you think, like, how can I do that? How can I give myself that feeling now, in the present day scenario? So again, Cheryl, probably, yeah, exactly. Safety, as you say, like, safety is the feeling behind. What can you do right now, or what can you do to give yourself the sense of safety? Again, you can do things energetically, you can do things physically, you can do some emotional cleanse around it. So again, it's knowing, it's digging deeper. What can you do to make yourself feel safe on a day-to-day basis? I'm telling you, Cheryl, the more you allow yourself to feel safe on a day-to-day basis, you will begin to lose that weight, because your old story will not resonate anymore with what you're doing right now. So that's the way of activating. I have seen this many times, several times. A lot of women losing weight just by emotional cleanse itself. And one of my clients, she lost weight just by lucid dreaming. We went through certain process of cleanse, womb clearing, and we did a lot of healing work around her emotions. It was a very deep, long journey, and she began to lose weight because she was not attached. She had so much of resentment in her. All of that began to shed from her aura, from her awareness, and she began to lose weight without changing her diet. So amazing things happen, you know. So let me recap. Let me recap here. Thank you, you're safe advisor. So for us women, the reason I'm sharing with the embodying part is for us women, it's really important to do the body work. A lot of our emotions are stored in the body, especially around our womb area. That's why we do a lot of work around, you know, healing the womb space, you know, activating the womb space, awakening the womb space. A lot of tantric exercises. Jade egg has been really helpful for me as well. And this is why sister circles are really, really important, because in Tantra they say that a man is nourished by his women, but a woman is nourished by other women. So there is a very nourishing energy. Those of you who have attended my workshops, you know that you leave the workshop just not by yourself. You actually go out with the collective energy of love and sisterhood with you, and nourishment as well. That's just part of it. I know some of you, I don't know if anyone of you have attended my workshop so far. I cannot see any familiar names yet. But yeah, so it's really important to do this work, to come together as women and keep doing the body work, the embodying work. The feminine movement is a really good work as well, so that you learn how to activate that feeling of what you desire right now, so that you get that. So if you're resonating with this, type a yes or a heart for me, and I will take a sip of water. So I want to wrap up quickly. So the 3 steps to activate your feminine empress is to first stop living in the past. You know, catch yourself what story you're telling yourself. Okay, is it inspiring you? Is it setting you free? If no, then what's the learning behind it? Second step is to activate your feminine empress, is then to create a vision for your future self, you know. So get clear on what is it that you desire right now. Dare to dream, dare to desire, and then dare to share it as well. You can share it with yourself by looking into the mirror and repeating it over and over again, or you can come back to the safe space to do that as well, so that we all can celebrate you. We all can send you a lot of positive vibes your way. Believe me, that works, that works, that works. You can test it. And then the final way is to embodying your desire, and is to finding out what is beneath that desire of yours, what is that feeling, and then sit with that feeling, welcome that feeling, understand that feeling, and then think of ways of giving that feeling to yourself in the now. And that's when you will slowly begin to activate your feminine empress. The days that you don't feel good, it's all right. You don't have to feel good every day. But remember that you can come back to this. Allow yourself to feel like shit, but after some time, give yourself, like I give myself, like the days that I feel really bad, I give myself a couple of hours of feeling like shit. And then I know, okay, that's it, because I know it's not my natural state, but my primordial brain, my reptilian brain does that, and it's in all of us. So yeah, so if you're liking this, I'm entering my crone. I've never given birth. I'm entering my crone. That's a good news. I can see you entering your crone. So if you're liking this this so far, I also want to extend a sacred offering that I had for all of you. Yeah. I have opened a couple of spaces for the Open to Receiving retreat weekend that is happening in Spain in March for the days 8 to 11. And there we will be doing all of this work. We will be going into your desires. We will be activating the fear and the shame and the guilt emotions in you, because the more we activate on, then we can release it. We'll be doing all of this work. We'll be doing the jade initiation, self-love, marriage ceremony by the beach as well. And we'll also be going into boundaries, lots of feminine movements, and yes, all of that. And few spots have opened up recently due to some kind of back-end business, I should say. And here is my invitation. If you want to do this work, if you want to meet me in person, if you want to be with sisters together and celebrate International Women's Day as well, then this offer is open to you all. And I am offering this to people who will be watching this Facebook Live. And with an investment of only $497. So it's not a big investment, but it is only for those people who resonate with this and want to go deeper into this work. Michaela, crone is, what may I ask, what's the meaning of entering the crone? So crone is the stage that is also a kind of an archetypal stage, which is the mother, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So the crone is the archetypal stage of the wise woman. So Cheryl is sharing that. So many times when you go through the stage of the menopause, then you begin to enter into that archetype. So you use the energy of the postmenopausal realms to activate the crone in you. So it's the wise woman energy. Yeah, pretty much. So the reason I'm saying this, I'm sharing about the Open to Receiving retreat weekend, because it's going to be a 4-day feminine awakening workshop going on. And what I have noticed from the work that I have done, I would not have done it by myself. I wouldn't have done it by myself. I wanted somebody to hold the mirror and to show me what is in me that I need to activate, what is in me that I need to release, because by myself I was just too engaged and involved in all of my limiting beliefs. I really needed somebody to hold the mirror and hold a vision of me that even I could not imagine. Really, this is crazy. When I had my first coach, and it was a he. So this guy, he had such a big vision for me, and something that I'm living right now. 10 years ago, I could not imagine that life at all. And he had this vision of me that I am right now, but I was so scared, and I was thinking he was crazy or something, because what the hell is he talking about? But you want somebody to hold a bigger vision for you, so that you have the space to create it without limitation. As I said, not with the dream stealers, but with the people who celebrate your dreams. And it's also really important that that you choose this person who you resonate with, whose energy you resonate with, who you can trust in shedding those layers. And there's a lot of emotional cleanse going on, so you really need to trust, resonate with the energy of this person who you want to do this work with. So this is why I'm sharing with you, because when I work with women, it is important for me to also resonate with their energy, because it's really difficult if our energies don't match and we do not have similar way of thinking and being and desires in a way for our higher consciousness. So if you resonate with me, if you like my energy, if you think that I can be this person who can hold this mirror for you and do the work with you, then you have this moment to grab this opportunity. There are a couple of spots remaining for this offer itself, and it's available only for a small period of time before I close business. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And another thing that I wanted to say towards the end is, yes, we're starting the Spark Your Love Vibe Challenge on the 8th of February. It's a free video series. You don't have to be in a relationship. You don't have to be looking for a relationship. The feminine principles that I have lined out there are the principles that you can do as a single person, or a person in a relationship, or even a person who is looking to manifest something using her love vibe, because when you raise your vibration, good things attract to you. So that's my gift for you for this month, so you can enjoy. We can also share the love and the support here in this group. So if you have any questions, then I am happy to answer. I'm going to post the link. If you are interested in joining the Open to Receiving retreat weekend with me, then send me a PM. Send me a PM here on Facebook. And it is available, as I said, for the next 24 hours for the price of $497. Yes. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm going to share with you some of the shopping that I did for the retreat weekend. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to share with you later. Not going to spill all the secrets out in this Facebook Live. So I'm going to hang on to see if there are any questions. If not, did I miss saying anything? No? Great. So sisters, have a very good evening, and if you are somewhere outside of the UK and Europe, have a nice rest of the day. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching. And even if you're not coming to the Open to Receiving retreat weekend, it's fine, because that was just a part of this this Facebook Live. My biggest intention was to give you this process so that you can always use it, you can recreate it with any limiting belief you have, with anything that you're struggling in your life. Okay, so namaste, sisters. Thank you for all your love.